Alright everybody, what is going on? Welcome back. I am here to talk today about the different types of land in Faeria and why they are important, why you should take note of the different types and how you will utilise them. There are several different types of land. You've got prairie, which is just the neutral. Then you've got lake, forest, mountain and desert. Okay, so now you know what they are. Why should we pay attention to them? What's the point of them? Prairie is your basic bog standard land type. You can place creatures or cards that are neutral. They don't have a particular colour underneath their top left hand corner. They don't have say a red circle that then has a number 2 in it or anything like that. They are just plain. In that case, they are neutral and you can place them onto prairie as well as any other land type. It's not a problem, they will go on any. However, the opposite way round is if you have a creature with a green circle, that requires being placed on forest and can only be placed on forest. Once it's been placed there, it can happily move around into other segments, different types of land. It can go into mountain or desert, go onto prairie, but it has to be first placed on its respective land type. In this case, that would be forest. Same with creatures that require lake, mountain and desert. So how do you utilise this? That's really the most basic point here, is how do these become a factor and how do we play them in a way that helps us? So let's take a card, any card, Vendoran Force. It's a green card and it's a 7/7 that requires 6 mana and 2 forest to play. So in this instance, you must have obviously 6 mana that turn, but you must also have placed on the board 2 separate pieces of land that are forest. Doesn't matter if you've got mountains or prairie or lakes, anything like that, it has to have 2 pieces of forest on the board, and then when you place it on the board, it must land initially on either of those 2 forests, or 3 or 4, however many you've got. It requires a minimum of 2, and you just must place it onto a forest piece of land when it's first played. After that, it's happily able to move onto prairie, into desert. It can move anywhere it wants around the board, as long as there's nothing blocking its way, and that's how it goes. It can even sit and pick up mana for you if you really want, although it's not really what I'd do with it. So, an interesting point that I did just mention is that however many pieces of land you've got. So just because I've got a deck at the start, you'll have a deck that's got green cards, but you could have a mixed deck that's got both green and red, in which case you'd be wanting to place multiple colours of land. You'd be wanting to place both green and red land, either depending on what you're hoping to do that game, or based on the cards that you're drawn. So you'll simply just play it like that. That's how you determine which types of land you play, by which types of creatures are in your deck, what you've drawn into your hand, or how you would hope your hand's going to draw out, and how you want the game to play. Of course, you have to be adaptive and change to the situation. So if you did have a dual coloured deck, you can overwrite land as well, is an important key. So it doesn't matter whether it's prairie again, or lake or desert, you can select forest and place it over any of those other pieces of land that are yours, that you have placed yourself, and it will overwrite it with the new type. Also to note, it's very important, is that you can only place a limited number of land per turn. Initially, you'll probably be placing prairie. That's how you will rush to the mana in most instances. Probably if you're using green, you'll want to rush to the mana. So you can place 2 prairies, or you can place 1 of any other land type. So the desert, the lake, forest, any of those, land, mountain is what I meant to say. You can place any of those other 4 types, but they can only be placed 1 per turn. Of course, exception to the rule, as there always is, there are cards. There is the elemental in the red deck, and there is another card that's in the green deck that, when placed, will generate a piece of land of that type, and it will place it on a nearby square, usually at an opposing diagonal, or if it's free, it could appear in front, or it could appear behind. So, as always, rules are there to be broken, and in this case they are broken by using specific cards, cards that are able to generate land upon their arrival onto the field. And that, my friends, is how we use land, how we utilise land, and how you should be using it too. Of course, you'll have to choose depending on the situation that you're in, what cards you've got, what colour you have in your deck, what you hope to achieve that game, how you think it's going to play out. So, on that note, I shall love you and leave you. My name has been Mists, and I shall see you all next time.